You want me to cut the air off, or you think what sounds gonna good? Too late.
Sucking their own dick for 10 minutes.
With great power comes great responsibility.
This is so fucking stupid.
What?
Take that, Marvel.
Eat it, kids in DC. What the fuck is up, internets? I'm Mr. Royal. To my camera right, immediate left, we have Mr. Durden Godfrey. And to camera center, immediate center, Dave. Tell them who we have tonight.
Carlos Smith, the second, aka Los 2K6, filmmaker, creator of the Soulhood Saga, here to talk about that and his favorite film. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? How y'all fellas doing?
Konnichiwa.
Hey, there it is. I'll take it.
What's your favorite film that we're going to be talking about today?
So we will be speaking about Civil War. Captain America's third film in the MCU.
Now, don't try to lead him into that. What's his favorite Marvel film we'll be talking about today?
No, this is our friend's favorite films.
Is it of all time?
We'll get one of my top favorites.
I like that. Okay, all right, Peter.
I got a lot of favorites, but that's definitely one of them.
All right, I like it.
All right, before we get into the show, let's check the comments real quick. Darius Wachovia, Mick McDonald is here. I wish he wasn't. Sup, bros? Go away, Darius McMac. Graffiti South. You know Graffiti South?
Probably not by the channel name.
Oh, they're just a new. They're a new name in the comments.
Welcome, Graffiti South. Nice to have you back.
He says, "Speak closer into the mics."
Who, us? Like me? How do I sound? Does Mr. Royal sound good? Mr. Royal always sounds good. Somebody tell me how I sound. Please tell me it sounds good. Somebody put a thumbs up. I want to do a quick check.
Check.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, guys, we're going to turn this thing up. Give it a sec. Yeah, we are doing this. If you want to blame anybody, blame YouTube. Not really, just throwing it out there. All right, we sound good now. I think we sound better. I feel like I sound better, man.
Yo.
All right. All right, so what do the comments say now?
Can hardly hear David.
That's because you're not into the mic, David. Well, I asked. Thank you. Hey, Annie. Okay, Annie, do I sound good now? Does this sound good?
That's way better.
Okay, do it sound good?
How about me? Check 1 2 3 4 A.
Snoop Doggy Dogg, Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance. I'm just gonna keep talking like this. Somebody sip. Tell me I sound good.
Yep. Thank you, Annie. Thank you for being here.
What did she say? Did she say I sounded good?
Yep. All right. So now we can get. Actually, before we talk to you about the filmmaking that you do, before we talk about the movie that you like, can you give us a little bit? We're going to run the trailer for Soulhood, which is Soulhood Part 1, right? Is the one we have?
Mm-hmm.
And you're currently working on Part 2?
Yes, sir.
And this is Part 3 of a 3-part series altogether.
Technically speaking, yep.
With short cousin films in between, following Luke and Lee, or Luke Hill.
So Luke and Lee is like the first in that trilogy, and then Luke Hill is something like further back in the timeline. But it starts with Luke and Lee, then Solo Part 1, Solo Part 2.
The masterpiece of movies, everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can't wait to. I've been wanting to talk to you about this for some time because it's so inspiring that a filmmaker. I don't like to say local filmmakers. You're a filmmaker who happens to live in Jacksonville, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that do something so ambitious with like one set of characters to like let people have people to follow. Like I don't know that it's ever been done on an independent level, like especially not in Jacksonville. So
no, it's usually one and done. Yeah. Nobody came to see it. Fuck it. Next story. Where to keep with it.
And
everybody pay attention. Don't download this. Support your filmmakers. What's that guy's name? Is that what's that? Solo? Not Solo. Oh, yeah. I know what you know.
All right, we're gonna stop the trailer. I'm gonna correct that right now. Ask some questions about the movie. I'm gonna get the trailer.
So let me ask you this, Harry. Thankfully, I went to Juilliard. They didn't let me in the door, so I came back to Duval. So let me ask you this: you did Soulhood. Was Soulhood the actually first film you've ever done, or what was your actual first film?
That's like the first film in the series. Like my first movie was back in 2013, actually.
Gotcha.
But the beginning of Soulhood was in 2017.
Let me ask you this: what made you want to become a filmmaker?
Simply just watching movies. That was. I mean, I had the simplest background when it comes to that. Actually, just watching movies and just wondering how they do it. It to me, it looked fun to do. So took a shot at it and quite no pun intended.
Hey,
here we are.
I see what you did there. I mean, same thing for me. I'll tell people about acting. That's why I got into acting. I'd sit at home when I was a child, was not playing sports. I would literally watch TV sun up to sundown, and I would tell myself, I can do what they do, and some of these fuckers, I can do it much better. And they're paying for this shit. I'm on.
Yeah, facts.
Yes.
Let's run that trailer now.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Y'all just said the word, and we're all down here right now. You're gonna pay for this, Troy! You really want to do this, pig? Man, I slit your throat. What you gonna do then? This time, make sure you kill me before they take your ass to jail.
Put your goddamn hands behind your back.
Hands behind your head!
I've been on my grind, homie, trying to get my money up.
You think this shit a game, huh? Case closed.
So you think it's cool to shoot down officers?
I'm tired of these games, buddy. Luke and Lee. My family is dangerous. And what's the mess with those three? We got two that came back from the dead. One long lost cousin. I watched them both die. Come back to life the same day.
Troy was driven by his greed, man. He tried to break our family. Went after Rick and DJ. Now you got Leo tagging along behind him. Like we created a monster.
It's about the money in the pound. It's about sending a message. It's about teaching a lesson.
Hit up Rick and DJ.
Yeah, lately I've been underestimated greatly. I was the underdog and none of y'all can overtake me.
We're all the target.
That means everybody in this room right now is in danger. I don't think Troy's showing nobody mercy.
Listen up, because Leo ain't gonna repeat himself.
Isn't this from that girl you used to date back in school, Tanya?
And you think you and your crew can stop him? You're crazier than I thought.
What can I do for y'all gentlemen?
I'm about to run it
I can't believe you guys see this shit again. Can't find this time, Luke.
Let's get it.
Everyone's worried about you. Who you're involved with is dangerous.
I want to come back. It's getting dangerous out here.
With what you've gone through, though, you kind of understand what's at stake.
Now I'm telling you, he wants war. So he's going to come to us.
Hell no! 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 New plan!
You got a lot of enemies.
Do y'all know who run this spot? Call it.
And it's not just about the money in the pound. It's about sending a message. It's about teaching a lesson. You may be hating it, but at least you respect it. I'm about to run it all.
You ain't kill them all, that's why I say that.
Marvel got that airport scene from They saw the Soul Hood trailer and was like, this is how we're gonna do it at the end, man. No, seriously, hey, congratulations, man. Great job. So when can people is sold is the third one out now, or when is it coming out?
So this one, the one y'all just saw, the trailer, that's actually out on Amazon now.
Okay.
Amazon Prime. Part 2 is actually going to be premiering in May of next year.
Amazing, guys. Make sure you check it out. We'll make sure we drop some links in here so you guys can check it out. And hey, like you say, the other movies on Amazon Prime now, and just what's stopping you? Go get it.
Washington,
Jason or Jeremy?
Carlos.
Oh, that's my guy. What's up, Jeremy?
What's up, Jay Wash? Don't know you, but you're his guy. So hey.
Timothy says, "What's good?"
Oh, Sam, what's good?
That's good stuff. This is what's good.
So when did the first Soul Hood come out?
So the first one
2017.
Yeah, September 2017 is when we premiered the first one.
And then
yeah.
So and you're not just doing these films; you're doing films for other people too, like working on in various areas, helping other people bring their vision to life as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So do you have like a count in your head as far as like how many projects you've done since your first one?
So if I'm going to date back from the first movie, I want to say, now my personal projects, I'm going to say about maybe 4 to 5, maybe. That's not including short films. About 4 to 5, I want to say.
Okay.
Not including other people's movies, I want to say almost 10.
And you're doing music videos in between those on top of that?
Oh, don't say that online. You don't want anybody else like no more music with rappers. Everybody wants to rap.
Well, I'm just trying to illustrate, like, because I see you from afar, like social media, where nobody's really afar, but I reckon, like, usually when I'm up editing, I see the green light on your thing, and then I notice whenever you're done a film, you go hard on the promotions, and you don't you recognize whatever the means are, and you work within those in like really creative ways that come out really professional looking, and you probably never guess that it's you constructing all of this at a computer. It's inspiring to see. And it's awesome that like how busy you're staying and the fact that you're just always doing something. What inspired, what originally, how did you get the idea for Soul Hood initially?
Well, the funny thing about the first one, that was just based on like I literally was writing the script as a venting session. That's literally how I was born, and so a lot of the first one was based on a lot of like real life scenarios, real life situations I actually went through, and then after seeing how that was also my first time premiering a film in the AMC theater as well. So that had a lot of good feedback, a lot of good support, and then I saw a lot of potential from that very point.
Yeah,
I just continued to build from there.
What was when you premiered your first film? Like, if you could sum up the emotion or the high that you get in like a single sentence, like how did you feel that night after you were done?
Oh, powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Did it make all those nights of staying up late at night, 5, 6, 7 in the morning, editing all worth it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's that applause that makes you forget. It's almost like they say the wedding cake takes away a woman's sex drive. It's almost like the applause at the end of a premiere makes you instills some kind of amnesia that makes you forget how trying and the production and post-production was. Like, I could do that again.
I've been on this earth 39 years. I've never heard the wedding cake takes away a woman's sex drive.
You haven't worked on
That's
enough.
for me too, actually.
You got to work with the construction crews to get that kind of.
Are you talking about the cat callers and the whistlers of the world?
Hey, they're building our roads. They're keeping our bridges.
And also filling in some potholes. Hey, see what I did there? All right.
I got a funny moment. I got a funny thing I got to share with you guys. All right, so right before I premiered the first Soul Hood movie, literally a week before, my project file corrupted.
Oh no!
So I literally had to re-edit the film from scratch a week before premiere, and it was already sold out twice.
That's not a funny story. That's a fucking terrifying story.
It's funny to anybody. Yeah, I mean, he saved my life in a very similar scenario where the night before, because back in the day, 5-10 years ago, even it always seemed to be a hassle to get the movie on some kind of medium that the theater was happy with, and then even if you have that one, you have to bring like 2 or 3 backups just in case, because you never know. And I think it was I needed a Blu-ray. I found out the night before that the hard drive wasn't going to read it right. It wouldn't feed into the thing the right way. So Yeah, it's just like you were 12 hours before the premiere, and I'm having to come to his house to get a DVD or Blu-ray burn, which like takes 10 hours.
Yeah, for a normal man.
Yeah, well, and then you cross your fingers that it doesn't get hung up in that 99% because I don't have time for a second try.
Yeah, it just gives you that scare. Like, yeah.
That's not the only time I've saved your life. Also, when we went to the drive-in.
Oh yeah. It was another situation where we were in a new place 3 hours away in Ocala or wherever. And
have you ever tried to play one of your films at a drive-in? Don't. Hey, dude, it's fucking crazy. All I'm just simply saying, if you want to make it in life, you better keep me around, fucker.
They just have different attitudes at the drive-ins. They're very lax. Like, yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. We'll get it. Like
everybody's high on carbon monoxide anyway. Who cares?
Yeah. Besides the scare with the premiere, for like the filmmakers out there, what would you say is the most challenging part for you in making a movie, and what do you do to overcome that or avoid it?
I mean, to be honest with you, probably scheduling for the most part. I mean, I typically film on weekends, but I still consider everybody's livelihoods as well. So it's usually the scheduling part.
Yeah,
I stopped considering people's livelihoods when I started making films, because if you keep considering their livelihoods, films won't be made. Like, you realize me and him talk about this all the time, and this is for all you independent filmmakers out there. Don't say local again. I'm gonna stab in your fucking necks. What it is that if you really want to get your first movies done, schedule a cast of maybe 3 to 4 people, and you can get it done. You got 30, that shit'll take 30 years. It's as simple as that. Like, I was happy with the people. Clearly, you had a solid crew. They were there and they believed in your vision, which is great. But that's why me and him became friends and started working together, because it's just like there was only so many people we can trust to handle their business and be committed to the project. Have you ran into that?
Rarely. Like, I rarely run into a situation where the person not committed or whatnot. So,
yeah, and
thankfully with the Soul Hood movies, I've never had that problem.
That's what I was.
That's beautiful, man.
That's another thing that's wild to me, that you've done the same you followed the same characters for so long, is like the fact that you've had the same people come back over and over again, which is like, I guess that's like, you should put that at the top of your resume. It's like, hey, I'm awesome to work with, because the same people. Like, have you had anybody that's like, because at this point they'd have to consider themselves the one-off, but they're like, man, I'm not working with Carlos. He's kind of a dick.
I'll say this. I had a couple situations where, like, I don't got into it with a few people, but I ain't gonna say nobody's name out loud.
Yeah.
But I don't have those situations.
They're out there.
Are they in the credits of the film trailer we just saw?
Probably so.
That's all. Okay, you good, man. You good?
Probably so. I mean,
hey,
we have to,
we're working with a limited budget. You have to
right.
You have to take liberties.
Have you run it really quick? Have you run into somebody who's like the third film now? Like, man, I got contract demands, man. Man. Hey, listen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, if I was Luke Orley, I'd be like,
hey, man. Hey,
I'm gonna need at least 3 meals.
Kids got to eat, man. Yes, sir. All right. So we'll get more into that. Like I said, can we check the comments and then we'll jump into this thing, Dave?
We're good.
We're going to comments?
Yeah.
No more?
Yeah.
We got no more?
No.
Oh, they don't love us like they used to. So what we're about to jump into is one of the things that we've been doing this show for 4 seasons now. And I think we've done, 4 Marvel films now? 3 or 4? I know we've done Doctor Strange. What else have we done?
Doctor Strange 2.
Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther, and Howard the Duck, Phase 0. There you go.
Did you say Spider-Man already?
No Way Home. Yeah, I did that one. You didn't. Yeah, but yeah. So the show's done about 4 or 5 Marvel films, and so what I've been trying to get him educated. What it is that's our strength. I've seen more movies than him, but he's seen more obscure movies than me. So we both together are undefeated at trivia night across the country. Anybody want to challenge us? Don't. So with that being said, today I'll let you introduce what movie are we watching and why is it one of your favorite films ever?
Cool. So we are taking a look at Civil War, Captain America's 3rd film. I believe that came out in 2016, and I think it's one of my favorites in the MCU in general because number one, it was essentially an Avengers film for me at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Introduced Spider-Man, introduced Black Panther in the same film,
right?
And then it was a lot, and then especially like that was just the one movie that was just running the whole time that it was never a normal.
Well, let me ask you something before
before we get too far into it, I want to for the people out there that haven't seen
Civil War, you want to play the trailer? You want to play the trailer?
No, not going to play the trailer. Just a quick, everything you need to know about
Go for it.
Directed by the
Hold
Russo
on, you
brothers.
sick son of a bitch.
The
You set me
Russo-
over here so I can't see the things
The
today.
Russo brothers directed this, which explains why I'm wearing this blue T-shirt, because the Russo brothers also did Arrested Development, and you can actually catch an Arrested Development Easter egg in the airport scene. The Bluth infamous stair car is in the background.
The blue. Where's the blue man from? Community or Arrested Development?
Blue man.
All blue guy. Looks like he's in Circus du Soleil. He's on one of those shows. Is he the Parks and Recreation Community? It's a blue guy. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's in one of the.
Arrested Development. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
He
All right.
blew himself.
Oh.
That's what he says. He accidentally blew himself.
I
Then
guess.
the Russo brothers went on to do Yumi and Dupree.
Mm.
They also did the pilot episode, as well as many other episodes of Community, which is coming back for a
17th season?
finally. 6
Shit. Oh,
seasons in a movie.
Okay. Yes.
They did The Winter Soldier, Infinity
Ew.
War, and Endgame. After they were done with Marvel. Are they done with Marvel?
Nah, Marvel's not done with them.
Okay, well, after they were done with their Marvel stint, they continued to work with Marvel people. They'd work with Tom Holland, most recent in this was following Endgame. It's a gritty crime drama called Cherry 2021. Watch it on Apple TV. And then they worked with Captain America in the 2022 thriller The Gray Man. That's on Netflix. And
Thriller. Yes.
working with Eleven and Star-Lord on the Electric State and action adventure.
Amazing. Now this is what I want to. I didn't want to.
Filmed
There you go.
primarily
Bro, you
in
can't take those
Harrisburg,
pauses.
Georgia. Other locations include Germany, Iceland, Brazil, and Puerto Rico. Production lasted exactly from April 30th to August 22nd of 2015, and on a budget of $250 million, it made over $179 million back on its opening weekend, and currently sets at a worldwide gross of $1,153,337,496.
You know who loved those numbers?
Who?
The habitual line stepper.
Oh yeah,
He saw that deep dig. I hope he's watching this shit. I want to say this. Los brought up earlier. He was talking about this was the first time he introduced Spider-Man. But one of the things I loved, and that's why it's always great to do a rewatch. I don't know if you've ever thought about this. I don't know if David did either. Did you notice that ironically, the first time they introduced Black Panther, they introduced him in Civil War?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that until now. Like I ain't really, it ain't really sinking with me.
Last night I was rewatching. I'm like, wait a minute, Civil. Okay, I get. I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but it's just one of those things. Like, damn, you always need some little help if you're trying to win a war. Yeah. And I was trying to tell him, like, as soon as America needs some goddamn help, we was the first ones out the goddamn portal. We was in Captain America ear and in his face. You had Sam, the Falcon coming in his ear on your left. In Infinity, Endgame, and then Black Panther comes out with Shuri and Okoye, and then in this one, when it's a civil war and America wants to win, Black King T'Challa's here and T'Chaka.
Back at the bus, front of the line. That's it.
We didn't get that pamphlet. They didn't hand it out at the Black meeting.
Vengeance has consumed you. It's consuming them. I'm done letting it consume me.
Love it.
I wish I had a shot of his suit. Because speaking of Black Panther, I know that a lot of people like gave him shit before they knew, like they were being like the bullying online about Chadwick Boseman's weight.
That was that picture from the because he in the Five Bloods.
I want to clarify that this is not even remotely trying to touch on that, but the suit was all CGI. Like anytime the Black Panther was on screen in full suit, that was full CGI, and the suit looked bulkier than he even did in that movie. It looked way bulkier than it did in Black Panther, and there was something like it wasn't as vibrant. It almost looked like
in that movie in Civil War is always CGI. In Black Panther, sometime it wasn't always CGI in Black Panther.
Did you notice he looked like bulkier?
Right. I mean, they had finally fixed what they did to Ryan Reynolds and Green Lantern. Shit, you remember that fucked up suit? Yeah, there you go. Oh, devil, everybody.
So you had some thoughts on the Black Panther debut too. What like?
I mean, it was cool to finally see him. It was cool to finally see him on business, just from the get go.
Prideful. It's very prideful. I was telling him, and when we did the first Black Panther episode, I said, "Listen, you got to understand this. I don't see color. I see film. I see stories. So growing up, all the superheroes I saw looked nothing like me, yet I just still saw them as superheroes. But it was something about when I saw someone that looked like me that resonated with me. It was almost like when we saw Candyman, like, yeah, he's a villain, but he's a cool villain. He's black. And then when we see a black superhero, like, oh shit. And then you find out they're the most intelligent fucking nation on earth. Like that shit fucks with you. Like, where was the story buried at? But it gives you a sense of pride. How did it make you feel?
Oh man, it was an amazing feeling. And also we got a slight introduction of Wakanda at the post-credit scene.
You did. Yeah. They showed the mountain, which we don't see in the Black Panther film at all.
The Big Panther statue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's it. That's the only time you fucking see that shit. It sounds like they had a fucking disagreement with somebody that's their concept art, and they're like, we'll just come up with something else. They completely wiped it out. Like, we're just gonna fly into this magic place now. Like, there was a big fucking Panther mountain here. I want it.
Yeah. But it was weird. Black Panther, like, I guess if I would have seen, it was weird to me because I'd already seen Black Panther and Wakanda Forever, but it was just such a different T'Challa in Civil War. Like, he was so like we kind of talked about this, how he was like driven by vengeance, and kind of like it almost made him not. In Black Panther, he seemed very calculated. Everything was calculated. He was very reserved. But in this one, he's a lot more like his sister.
But you got to understand why. Just like his sister, they're literally within 10 hours of seeing their parents killed. He just saw his dad die. She just saw her mom die, burying the lead if you haven't seen the other film. So you got to understand. Like, and that's why I love what he said in the film. I didn't think about it until we did the rewatch last night when he said, in my culture, death is not the end. And that's one of the biggest things they talked about in Black Panther Wakanda. And it's not just in Wakanda, that's in black culture in general. Like, we believe in the afterlife. I can't speak for all black people, but there's certain things that when we leave here, there's an ancestral plane. The Vikings call it, was it Hela? Valhalla? In the Thor movies, they like, you die in battle, you go to Valhalla. Like, every culture has something where you go if you die in battle. So it's kind of just like, yeah, there's an afterlife, man, and it's dope. Well, Shuri didn't think it was dope. We'll talk about that another day. Spoiler alert.
That was one cool thing to me about watching Civil War after seeing the other movies first, was because it did take everything full circle to see where T'Challa came from, and then now to fully understand why he had some kind of like common ground with Killmonger in Black Panther, because he had that same anger that he dealt with in Civil War. And then to see Shuri in Wakanda Forever go through the same character arc where she has to overcome her own, like, it
shows they did their research to go back and look at these films. Now, it's very consistent.
I give Marvel comic book films a lot of shit, but
those stories
are consistent and grounded.
Let me ask you this so we can actually start on, since you brought back up Civil War. Let's start on Civil War. One of the things, let's start from the very beginning. I don't know if you noticed this, but I hit him up last night. I said, if you notice, the opening title sequence is one of the last times, because it was the end of phase 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. You're right. Fuck you. It was one of the last time they used the old Marvel opening. Remember, it used to start with just, it was no, just a little, dude. Whenever he's seen me do it a million times. It's like a ritual. Whenever I hear the Marvel opening, I just close my eyes and just take it all fucking in, because I missed the old pages, but that's the last time they did it.
I close my eyes too.
Fuck you.
Actually, because after that,
they started to do the thing where they start showing the movies inside the letters, but this one was the last time.
Let's check the comments and then go back a little bit further, because you had something you wanted to say about the trailer. Annie says he always loves us. We love you too, Annie. James is here. Just got out of my acting directing class.
James, if your teacher gives you an F, tell him to come see me. I'll get it taken care of.
How you doing, James? And Gray Man was really good. I gotta watch that.
It was really long. I don't know about really good.
EJ Nonstop is in the house. Go watch I'm Sick of It on Amazon Prime after you check out Soul Hood Part 1.
EJ, this is the only time you'll ever hear EJ. EJ, I want to make this very clear. This is the only time you'll hear me say this. Dave, take the downloading off. How about you plug us before you plug you? And keep going.
Hey guys, that was good. Good timing.
Thank you.
I can't hear that guy in the middle. When was that?
What time was that? Okay, he sounds pretty good.
It was 4 minutes ago.
Oh, why can't nobody else is complaining? All right, you know, we're doing a sound check on him now.
Yo.
I feel like he's good.
Check.
Is that one more time?
2, 3, 4. Yo.
You see?
It's kind of low. Let me turn it up a little bit.
Turn me up in headphones, B.
Check me real quick. 1, 2, 3.
Don't be Atlanta and me. I remember Larry. He was loud.
It's all good since the audio things, but it's getting taken care of.
It's Dave's fault. He's only used to dealing with one black voice in the room. Now it's two. He's getting a little nervous. I heard him lock his car. I never hear him lock his car before we start filming. I bet that's what your people want, huh?
Something about
And guys, if it look like we're changing colors, we are.
Stop talking for a second.
Yo, 1, 2.
Check.
1, 2.
You are so good, and me and him are hitting the dot, 2 dots.
Well, is the love sign in front of you, David? Remember the little heart? That means that not you. You don't have a heart on yours, but
Yeah.
okay. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
All right, Peter. Take me back to Iceland. So you were saying something you said he was saying something about the trailer, right?
Yes.
Comments
I'll preface it with this right.
Look, is that Rick coming up?
All right. I ran out of patience. On the ruse! Nice job, kid.
Thanks. Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit.
People took credit for that. They were like, "Oh, Brooklyn, Queens, all in the Avengers." That just means a bunch of weird fuckers come from New York. That's what I like to think about. That they was all there. Everybody thinks they're a superhero on the subway anyway.
Well, that was the first time. That was the introduction to Spider-Man, like in the MCU, right?
Yes, that version of him, which is crazy because
wait, what does that mean? That version of him?
Well, that version of him, again, I mean, that's the Tom Holland version. Me and you talked about it. But what most people don't know is, and I know we're still talking about other movies, but as he said earlier, Civil War is like a Avengers 0.5 type movie anyway. Tom Holland, did you know this fun fact, which is weird because you should get arrested for it, pretending to be a high schooler to get into method acting for this role and went to high school for like fucking, I think a month or two. He enrolled in a school and pretended to be a kid. Glad Black Panther didn't do that. We would never saw the fucking film.
Right.
What, like, are you a Spider-Man fan?
Absolutely. Now, I'm not the biggest comic person, but I am definitely a Spider-Man fan. Definitely.
Cartoon from the 90s, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that's something that I appreciated about this Spider-Man was he seemed to resemble the cartoon in
He was
combat
teeny. He was
a lot.
teeny.
Mm-hmm.
He was Oh,
like
well,
a teenager.
Well, no, just because he was so talkative. Like he would like talk shit so much all the way during the fight, and that was
always his thing. I'll give you that.
The rigidity flexibility ratio, which gotta say that's awesome.
I don't know if you've been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking.
All right, sorry, my bad.
But I was always Team Toby because
I was too until he walked down the street in all black, drunk as fuck.
That's my brother. That's
doing
my
the fucking.
I was just
thrust.
looking at that before.
That's my brother's fate. That my brother
That
hates
dance
Toby
sequence,
Maguire. He
man.
only likes that scene.
And I'm good on that, man.
That dance sequence, man.
That's horrible, bro.
Who is your favorite Spider-Man?
I personally am a Tom Holland person because it's like he has the perfect balance for me. Otherwise, Toby. Other than that.
But then Andrew Garfield came and stole the fucking show from those fuckers in Homecoming. Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
He shined on No Way Home.
Listen, don't get me wrong. Like, now, let me get this shit out of the way. I was not crying at the end of Black Panther 2. I did shed a tear when he saved fucking old girl and No Way Home because it reminded Gwen Stacy. Yeah, and I did shed a tear for that shit. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Because he didn't save her in another.
He didn't
timeline,
save
right?
her in the Andrew. Yeah, Amazing
Yeah,
Spider-Man. Right.
Get the backiotomy.
Right.
What was
David?
What she broke? She was in bad shape. She needed to go to the chiropractor. Get that.
What's your
worked
email
out.
address again?
That's terrible.
Is that a touchy subject? She
Not-
didn't die in real life, did she?
I take movies serious. They're like real life to me.
All right, I feel like now's a good time to jump in the comments.
Yeah. The woman hating group should be on you by
Jack's Film Fest is here. They said we can hear him. So
now. Okay, so the other person's just deaf. Deaf set Loto.
James MCD sounds better. Thanks, James.
Cool.
Thank you, Annie. Oh my God, it's the guy from the electric company. See, I should have checked that.
What's
but I
that
don't know
mean?
What that's in reference to?
What's that mean?
I don't know. Undre presents Unlucky Lane. He was laughing at something we did at 9:02.
Could have been anything.
Yo, boy's hard. Okay.
Thank you. Well, no Viagra, but thank you.
Rock.
Oh man.
I like Garfield's his favorite. Tom is the man. Not really. I mean, he's only 26. He doesn't even.
He's the man because who's he's dating. He is the fucking man.
Us New
Go get him,
Yorkers like
kid.
to talk a lot.
What? What'd I say?
Who? Oh, is Tom? Oh yeah, Tom Holland is, or Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man,
Peter
yeah,
Parker is New York.
Yeah.
Both Garfield movies were fire.
They were fire. Is that James or who is that?
Dumpster fires. Andre presents Unlucky Lane. I haven't even seen him. I'm just trying to start.
You haven't seen Missions Impossible either. I'm out on you tonight.
I'm mad his story stopped.
Oh, it's not over. They're coming back with another Garfield story.
Are they?
They are.
Garfield deserved better movies to be
Sony
in.
realizes how they.
Because I like
Well, there you
Garfield.
go,
I guess
James.
it's just the movies. You know what I mean? It's a lot of mixed reception.
The
out
one with
there
that
for
rhino
Tom
at the
Holland.
end. That was a waste of Paul Giamatti. That was a waste of him
I
as
was
the
mad
rhino.
about
That was
I
horrible.
mad at
Fucking
ending
horrible.
like that. I was mad about that.
Madrids are Tom Holland all the way.
Where's the Garfield for Andrew? I got you, bro. God, Peter 3. God damn.
No, but he shined on No Way Home though.
He out acted both of them on No Way Home. I'm just saying. Hey,
Did you guys hear how what's his name, Feig or whatever the producer's name is?
Kevin Feige?
Yeah,
how
it's Feige.
How he let the writers know that they could use Spider-Man in this movie.
How did he let them know? He did the meme, the three pointing at each other.
No, is the Spider-Man have a signal or something?
Sing like a song.
Like a
Spider Sense or something.
Oh, Peter Tingle. The Spider Sense, yeah, with his fucking hair. Yeah,
No,
it's
but
Spider Sense.
Does he have like a sign or something that people throw out to say like Spider-Man or something like
Oh,
that?
no.
No.
Well, I don't. Then never mind.
I'm over here thinking of a Batman.
Now that I look at you, you're dressed like fucking Spider-Man.
told
Team Toby, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, there's always money in the banana stand.
All right, so guys, I promised you we're gonna do this. We're now gonna get into Civil/Avengers 2.0 War.
What have we been doing?
We've been talking, but we've been all dancing around it. So let me ask you this. Lo, since you're our guest today, if you can give us a 60-second elevator pitch of the entire movie, go.
That's on the spot.
Well, you're director. Go for it, kid.
Okay, cool. So, all right, I'm just gonna throw it out like this. So right now, it's basically Team Iron Man versus Team Captain America, right? So the biggest dilemma that they have right now is that they're trying to figure out if they should be controlled by the higher authorities or not. And one team decides to join them, the other team does not, therefore causing the Civil War. So that's all I got for you.
No, that's pretty much the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Now, one thing that he really loved about it, and I told him this, I'm not going to say he hated Marvel, but I would say he didn't understand it to hate it yet, because some people naturally hate it. But I told him before I start getting him into the movies, I said, I picked out a Marvel property that I thought that he would love, would make him understand it. The first thing I really made him get into was WandaVision. So because I knew he would love the intellect, the vision, and the acting of Wanda. So let me ask you this. You said that Civil War is really about people who want to be controlled and who don't. I mean, that's the world we live in now. What do you say to that?
You know what? Sounds about right. Because I mean that's the argument.
Because I'm a rebel, so I would have whatever team is team. That was what fucking fucked me up. Because if you'd have told me to bet money, you would have thought Tony Stark was on Team Rebel, but he wasn't. Black Widow said in the movie, Tony, you're being unusually characteristically quiet. But it's because he got G-checked by the black lady when he was at the beginning of the movie. She was like, you're going up. She's like, I'm exactly where I need to be. Okay.
Hit him right to guilt.
Yeah.
The Russo brothers, what is it about them that, as a director, what did you appreciate about their style?
I mean, just number one, being able to handle that many people, like that many stars in this film, let alone Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. Like the ability to, like, as a filmmaker, being able to handle that many personalities at once, especially big names like that alone is,
especially when not only they're established in their career, they're established in the universe of the MCU, and here come these other directors. And you know what? I think that's a special part of directing. You can know how to make film. That's why I say Phil Jackson is one of the greatest coaches ever, not because he knows the X's and O's, but it's managing personalities.
Yep.
And that's why they're great directors.
Did you know that Anthony Russo's wife is a cameo in there?
Somewhere, I just don't remember where she was. You got that pulled up?
Throw her picture up real quick with Anthony Russo. She provided the voice of is it Helmut Zemo?
Oh, well, no, it couldn't be Zemo. Zemo's a guy.
His wife in the message box on his phone.
Oh yeah. The message he's listening to.
I literally didn't know that.
I didn't know it was her, but I know he's
One
somewhere.
more fun fact about the Russos: Joe Russo cited Seven and Fargo as influences for Civil War.
But you can see that because that was the point I was getting ready to make. WandaVision, Civil War, and maybe one of the other films, the acting and the stories drive it versus the action. If you would agree with that.
Absolutely.
You guys want to see their favorite shot? This is the Russo.
Oh, I love this shot. This is called my Hercules / Sam. This is my Samson shot if you're a Bible enthusiast. what, Dave? Play that again, because you know what? Sylvester Stallone comes to sue this motherfucker. You did over the top. This motherfucker just did under the bottom. Show me that shit again. So. You sick son of a bitch.
They made him wear shirts that were one size too small, while like to make his muscles pop more. And apparently they really like had him hold on to a crane and he was really trying to pull the thing down. And the reason why the Russos said they loved it so much is because they you could see there's no practical effects used in the shot, nothing. It's just like looking at pure determination on Chris Evans' face to like all that popping. That's like just him trying to will that crane back down to where he's at.
Let me tell you what the Russos did. They reestablished when they came into the universe with Winter Soldier. They reestablished my faith in the next few Marvel properties, and which is why they let them helm more movies. Because before this, let's be honest with you, the movies were really good. They were really entertaining. We were just fans of nostalgia because we saw these stories as children and we wanted to see them on screen. But then they brought a reality to it. I call it the practical versus the CGI effect. When I saw fucking Winter Soldier, that opening scene with Captain America going on that ship and beating those motherfuckers, I'm like, wait a minute, whoa, this is totally different than anything we've seen before. This is real hand-to-hand combat. The action, the jump cuts, it made sense. And they took that into this film. Like that scene with Captain America and Bucky, Winter Soldier, when they first meet and they're going down the stairs, he's like, don't kill anybody. That action in itself is like, bro, that is top of the notch action. So I respect what they brought to the film as far as storytelling. It just didn't, put it this way, the superhero dial had been dialed up 12/10, but when they got there, they dialed it back down to 8, which is right where it needs to be. Story, superhero, and the writers.
Let's check the comments real quick. Laurel is here.
Hey, Laura, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I hope that knee is feeling better. Laurel, shout out. Our favorite viewer. We would have missed you if you didn't come. Thank you.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. The My 5 Cents podcast is here. And again, let us know which one you are.
We're asking. I guarantee it's a logical genius. He's always sneaks in. I know it.
Are there going to be any Black Panther spoilers? If so, let me know so I could step out. No.
Who said that?
We won't be spoiling what comes.
Who said that? Oh, we're already done spoiling it. So yeah, no, you won't be seeing anything. Yeah, no.
And then Jane says that Cap scene was every MCU fan's gay awakening. Well, let's wait.
Well, I mean, hey, you know what, James? Hey, not that there's anything wrong with that Seinfeld reference. All right, well, I'm sorry.
He's using his left arm too.
I'm sorry, James isn't wrong. Show that one more time. No one look at Chris Evans. Everyone look at Winter Soldier Bucky. Look how he peers into his eyes. I could do this all day.
He's trying to make him come
to another film. All right, where we at now? Now, what I want to also say.
Oh, you got more talking points?
Yeah, talking points. Yes. Like I say, the practical elements. Okay, no, you guys go because I'm already into the movie at this point. So you guys go.
All right, let's get into favorite scenes then. What's your? You got 3 favorite scenes. What's your first one?
So it was like I said, it was one of when T'Challa realized the vengeance was taking over and was consuming him. That was a great point for me because that showed a lot of growth in his character. So instead of he could have went after, he could have just killed him.
Right, and no one would ever knew.
Yeah, he could have just killed him, right?
Yes.
Oh, you're talking. Okay, I got that clip pulled for you.
Yeah.
I accidentally played it earlier, but we'll run it.
Vengeance has consumed you. It's consuming them. I'm done letting it consume me.
He put his cat claws back in.
He's like.
Yeah, that Sabretooth eat your heart out.
Anybody that has a cat knows exactly what that means. So it's you're ready to love. Now you're not mad anymore. So yeah, I mean, I would ask like, why is that line? Or why is that scene so big?
But you know why?
And this came before Black Panther.
All of it. That's what's crazy, man.
Before Wakanda Forever.
That was like the perfect like segue into his solo.
It really was. And since you brought that up, I'll lead into. I know I will let you go last so you can not bury the lead. But one of my favorite films. I know you don't have it pulled because I didn't tell you to pull it, which I should have. But it was late last night. It was cold that night, Willie. Was when you get. And he said, I wish I would have had you pull it, bro. If you would have saw fucking Chadwick Boseman's face, it's the first time we get introduced to the Dora Milaje, but we don't get introduced to the full Dora Milaje. The girl walks up and she looks at it. She says, "Move, or I will move you." And then it's 2 seconds. He was like, "Well, I would love to see that." And he pauses like 2 seconds to see if they with it. We must do something.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
I love that because it shows like she ready to. Females out there in my community, that's what we call a ride or die. How about you, Try?
I'm with T'Challa on that one. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah.
That was Scarlett.
I don't know. That wasn't T'Challa saying that. That was Chadwick Boseman talking. He broke character. He was like, I would love to see that. He got it.
Yeah, facts. So.
What about you, Los? What was one of yours?
Talking about
favorite scenes of the film? Yes.
Okay. We're still on Civil War. So
Yes.
I mean, another one was when Tony met Spider-Man. I mean, when Tony met Peter.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Parker.
What?
For me, I'm going to tell you this. It was because we got a little Aunt May to start that scene.
So you're with Iron Man on this one.
All the fucking way. I'd fuck her right now. We are muted, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay. No. Hey, Ma.
So what? I mean, yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes too. Like I want them to have a whole series, just like Stark and Spidey, like on Disney Plus.
Oh, that would be so awesome. But I'm going to tell you this, that got a lot of fucking hatred. I don't know if you saw it online. Eventually, people kept saying like the Spider-Man's getting too Iron Man-y. But if you, again, I know you didn't read the comics, but they did do that in the comics. There were certain, during the late 80s and early 90s, Spider-Man's suit was affected by Tony Stark. So they did venture that. But as you see in the films later on, he goes back to his roots. He's a neighbor. That's who he is. He's still a fucking kid. And that was my point earlier. Out of Toby and Andrew, even though I love Andrew, I'm team Andrew, Toby embodied the kid more than all of them. The kid in high school, like your friend's a fucking superhero, and you go in the homeroom and he's swinging through the halls, literally.
I think Toby was my favorite until Tom Holland. And I think
Andrew played Spider-Man too, right?
I've never seen him, and I don't care to. But I really like what I think what Tom Holland has going in his favor is being able to bounce off of Robert Downey Jr. That's what makes those scenes so
and his
great.
height.
I mean, every scene with Robert Downey Jr., it doesn't matter who's in the scene with him. Those scenes are always some of my favorite scenes in the movie. And they're like this moment right here.
I know what you're finna do. Is it the limo scene or the car scene?
Nope.
I don't even have a driver's
You ever been to
license.
Germany?
No.
Oh, you'll love it.
I can't go to Germany.
Why?
I got homework.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
I love that, but let me help you out real quick. Would you believe the 5 seconds right before that scene was improvised? Tom Holland was in character, and Tony Stark said "You scoot over. I'm going to sit down now."
No. He goes. I'm going to sit there.
You scoot over. Yeah, that was improvised.
Because I'm going to sit there.
Yes, that was improvised.
Because that shit came out of nowhere.
And that's why he put his hand on his shoulder, like, "Calm down. We got gold, bitch. Do not move." I'm going to say to me, that's why I love film. That's a veteran actor saying, I know this is his own script, but we're still fucking actors here.
Well, and that's a testament, like you said, that the directors to have this many A-listers, and then to keep them all rounded up enough to get the movie made in time, but to also give them moments like that when like you're working with Robert Downey Jr. He might be able to perform something better than you could ever write. Let him go with it for a little bit, but to rein it in when it.
But you know what? That was one thing, but I always ask myself this, like, what if you're the third guy to play Spider-Man? You think he was intimidated? I know we're not talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, but do you think he was intimidated seeing the two guys that pretty much built the legacy of Spider-Man prior to him on set with him in his shit?
You know what? That's a good question. That's actually a great question. Because, I mean, I don't really, you wouldn't really know.
I mean, I'm an extremely confident person, but now he's the one. Listen, if anybody's acting, it's Toby, because the person you see is not. There's a dark side of that Tobey Maguire guy. Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there. Look at you. So you're not a Marvel guy. You're a Sony. You're a DC type of guy.
Sam Raimi type of guy.
I like what you did. He loves Sam Raimi.
Laurel McDonald said, "Love you guys. Love you too again." Abs.
No, but I know. Hey, no, he's doing this. No, you don't know this. Me and him know he's doing ass. Now let that motherfucking booty drop.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I knew you didn't know. That's why I was doing
How
that.
the fuck does James MCD know that? Are you
Hey,
sure?
hey, he likes decaf, man. He likes decaf.
I don't know what the heck.
Means?
Mathis is here. Bucky was checking out. Okay.
That's hilarious.
You will never see that scene the same again. I promise you.
He goes, that's fire. That scene definitely set up his movie. That scene is why he had a problem with what his daddy did to his uncle way back.
Mommy and dad. I told you that his daddy wouldn't buy shit.
Yeah.
You killed your brother. You're ducking and dodging. I omitted the truth. Bitch, that's a lie. Don't be trying to roar salad at me, fucker.
So another one of your favorite scenes, Lowe's, starts out. All right, so it's probably obvious, but what makes that one of your favorite scenes?
I mean, that was like one of the top tier scenes in the film in general. I mean, the fight between the two teams, which is, I watched it in the theater, of course, so it was just very exciting to watch. And seeing the banter between some of these characters as well was pretty fun.
Now, he had a problem with, and I say that's his problem, not mine or ours. He had a problem with there were no real you said there were no casualties in that fight. I said, first off, bro, you have to understand this. They were on the same team for years. Yeah, they're going to duke it out based off their beliefs, but they're not going to be any real casualties. But don't say that. Number one, a black man got paralyzed. I don't know if that's a casualty to you, but where I come from, that's a casualty.
Okay, before you continue, can I respond to what you
You
just
can
said?
retort.
Gentlemen. Okay, so
I'm just simply saying, like, there were casualties, man. This shit happened, man.
I understand the reason. Like, they gave me a good reason why they would be fighting. I'm not questioning that. They set that up nice. I even told Angela, like, they did a really good job at creating scenarios that would be believable why these people that are on the same team would fight each other. But that they could not do anything to resolve the fact that the stakes are just lower than they normally are because they're not fighting some villain that we want to die. We don't want, no matter somebody's going to lose no matter who wins in this fight. So there was no safe way out of this without killing anybody. And I really wish they just would have killed somebody. But
they did kill somebody. Tony's belief in mankind. And of course, when he gave it, if you can't believe in Captain America, goddamn, we talked about this when he said, "That's my friend Tony," he's like, "So was I." Like, goddamn, bitch, you can't have more than one friend.
No, that was just very personal, right?
Very personal, right? And Tony Stark normally doesn't give a fuck about anybody.
And I'll say, given what they had to work with, like what they had to set up for the movies that were to come afterwards, I think they did the writers did a fantastic job. Like the reveal about how Bucky had allegedly, he had something to do with the death of Stark's parents.
That's not alleged. That's actual fact.
He actually did it, but he was Lee Harvey Oswald.
We threw his brain in a blender. Remember, he said at the beginning of the movie.
For that person to be Bucky, who has so much history with Captain America, like that personal side of it made it real to me. Like at that point, I was like, "Oh shit, one of these motherfuckers might kill the other one," because now it just isn't like, "Oh, the government is telling us to do this, and some of us feel this way, and some of us."
But
feel
see,
that
what
way.
you didn't realize was the regurgitation effect or barf effect. You messaged me last night and said barf, and I forgot what it stood for. But I was telling you that led to the Spider-Man movies going forward. But you haven't seen it. That's what you should watch next. Spider-Man: Far From Home. That's the next one you should watch, by the way. But with that being said, is that again with him, you have to understand this. They started out Civil War showing you that Tony still had not dealt with the death of his parents. He said $611 million for my own therapy project, that little whatever. So when he hadn't still processed it, and then to find out when you're almost 40 some odd years old that one of your actual friends, who you never have friends, his fucking real best friend killed your fucking parents. Yeah. He may be one of the smartest people on earth. You can't do that math. You can't make that math make sense. It's like, I got to kill this motherfucker now.
And I'll say, for a movie that I thought stakes would be impossible to create, this moment right here, I felt like, okay, shit. That's another one of your favorite scenes, right?
Mm-hmm. Emotional toll between those two.
Yeah.
It was because it was at that point, and it set it up for, like, if you take it all the way to Infinity War, they ain't see each other the entire movie.
Yeah. Oh, what does he tell Bruce Banner? He's like, why don't you call Cap? We haven't caught up in the spell, have we? The Avengers kind of broke up like the Beatles.
It was crazy.
He's not laughing because he doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about.
It was crazy to see that look on Tony Stark's face when the helmet came off, because you never really see him in
the Iron Man suit, but not in the
vulnerable.
Well,
in battle.
He thought he was going to kill him.
Always got the one up on whoever he's. At least in the movies that I've seen, in the Iron Man films, he's always got the upper.
But see, people don't understand this. That's what took the Captain America arc to the last arc that they don't really talk about it. He became they don't say his name in the film, but in the cartoons and in the comic book they call him Nomad. That's when, if you notice, every time you see Captain America after that until Endgame, the star on his outfit is gone. He's ripped the star because he's already been failed by a shield because he found out it was Hydra. He's lost a friend in Tony Stark. He doesn't know what to believe in. He's searching for a sense of purpose. He left the fucking shield behind, and which was beautiful. And that's why I wanted you to watch the first fucking Russo's brother film, Winter Soldier, because the guy at the beginning of the film when he fights says, take the shield off. You're nothing without the shield, and he beats that guy's ass. So that's what I'm saying. It's a callback, man. You got to see how they're weaving this shit, man.
Like they really built that story. Like the whole arc has been there since essentially Winter Soldier. Since he transferred, since he made it to the future times.
Is anybody else in Winter Soldier besides?
It's almost Avengers 1.5. You got Sam Jackson, Nick Fury. You have our guy, what's that redhead, Skojo. Love you, Skojo. You have Peggy, not Peggy Carter. The younger Carter who you see in this one, she premiered it. She stayed.
Downey Jr. in it?
No.
Nah.
See, I need some RDJ.
Well, go watch fucking not Passenger 57. Go watch one of those other fucking Sam Gerard movies. What the fuck was that? What is the shit with Indiana Jones when he was older?
I go on
the fucking movie, man. The fucking dude. What the fucking movie, man? That one. Shit. Somebody help me out in the train crash. The one-armed man, like they brought that story. Like, man, fuck you for not knowing that. Right?
He says, "Yo."
Who said that?
Billy.
Hello, brother.
Billy was good.
One of I had one more favorite scene. Is that scene with because I loved WandaVision. The moment where Hawkeye comes to get Wanda.
Oh yeah.
And Clint, you cannot defeat me.
She literally. That's the word. Like, she tells Vision practically to go to hell. Like, she sends him so low into the pits. Like, go to hell.
And I'm gonna tell you why I kind of had a problem with that, but I know the answer to it.
Problems with it.
I'm gonna tell you why most people have a problem with it. Number one, her power. The popular belief is that her powers come from the mind, not the Mind Stone, or one of the stones. Her powers come from it. However, if that reality is true, then she should not be able to overpower Vision, who is purely the stone. Like, he is the AI in the stone. But because I do my research, I do know this, is that Wanda Maximoff is also the son of Magneto. So she is a mutant that has also come in contact with an Infinity Stone, which makes her a Nexus being. If you need me, 1-800, what's the number, Dave?
MCU 401.
Charge me, bitch. Think about that, because her and Quicksilver are Magneto's sons, and you've never heard of a mutant ever, at least since we've been growing up, coming in contact with an Infinity Stone, and that's what made her the Scarlet Witch. In my opinion, it made her more powerful. Than she's not just a mutant. She does not just have Infinity Stone's power. She's above all that shit. I love Scarlet Witch.
We
Scarlet, call me.
Touched on your favorite line with the Vengeance line. Did you have any other favorite lines from the movie?
It's just so many. I mean, that was like the one that stuck out the most.
I have a favorite line / scene. Well, it's a favorite scene before we get off favorite scenes. I call it, and somebody help me here, the Full House effect. At the beginning of the film, Captain America is talking to Rumlow. He knows what I'm talking about. Rumlow's the guy who's like, you dropped the building on my face, Cap, all that other bullshit. And so he pulls out this little bomb, and Cap is distracted because he says Bucky. And he says later in the movie, the guy said Bucky, and I turned into a 16-year-old kid from Brooklyn. Whatever. But point being is, when the bomb explodes, Wanda stops the bomb, or she contains it. Yeah. She tries to throw it up over the building, but she runs it into a full house of Wakandans. So it's ironic that her sister were in her show called Full House, and she throws this bomb into a full house of Wakandans. There you go.
Man,
that's what I'm here for. King of Connections, bitch.
Like the straw that
that's what I do, man. That's what I do, man. I don't charge for this. Thank you.
MCU. And then, because a quick note, Multiverse of Madness, Mom. Like, I'm like, oh, on Mother's Day weekend.
I didn't think about that. Oh shit! # Mom acronym. Multiverse of Madness, Mom.
Oh, that's
why on Mother's Day weekend.
That is wild. That is wild, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to throw that out.
Oh no, that's cool because it'll take us. We still trying to process multiverse. Side note, you ever saw Tenet?
What's up?
Exactly. The movie
Let's get
Tenet with
into the comments.
Denzel's
I don't
son.
think I've watched.
We watched it, and I don't think we've watched it.
I never finished it.
I don't think we did either.
Mathis said The Fugitive.
Thank you, Mathis. Thank you, Robert Thickwater Mathis.
Laughing
Thank you.
out loud, dude said the one-armed man.
That happens in the movie. They did bring out the one-armed man. They did.
You want to get in scene stealers?
That's kind of quick, isn't it?
I mean, I got no.
No,
more
let's start.
lines.
Let's start with this. Let's go with you know how we always do. What would we change? Let's start. I'm gonna put you on the spot. What would you add?
That would be after scene stealers.
I know. No, that's not even a fucking subject. That's not even a thing.
What
would you add?
So
take it seriously. Think about
it. Okay.
To the
Well,
film.
then you go first.
I will.
Okay, you go first.
Okay. What would I have added to this film? I would say this. This film for me really, I wouldn't add anything. And I know you'll say that's a cop-out, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't expect any film to be perfect, but you've been saying it all night, Los. They're dealing with at this one, and that's why I kept telling people, listen, don't you know how hard it is over fucking 11 years, 22 movies, 1 million writers, 1 million freaking cinematographers and DPs and all this other stuff to try to keep a story together. And I have to give the Russos credit for this. They had to deal with all these divas, all these storylines that were not there. Think about this. You're really in a pigeonhole. There are stories before you and there are stories after you have no control over.
Right.
And you have to make this film and say, I want people to love it. That's fucking hard as an artist. Like, hey, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I can paint anything. Well, here's a black and white paintbrush. Give me a masterpiece. Well, I'm used to painting with colors. Well, too bad. So to me, that's why I wouldn't add anything, because they weren't given a full refrigerator or a basket of fruit to make a film with. So if anything, I just would add more congratulations onto the Russo brothers. That's why I told you, go back and watch their first film. They were dealt an impossible hand. You don't know what we're going to do going forward, but make this film. And if you suck, we'll bring somebody else in.
Was this Tom Holland's introduction?
Yes.
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 So I have this. I would want to add the same thing for Tom Holland as Chadwick Boseman for their characters. If this is the introduction to them, I feel like I only like their characters as much as I did because I've already been introduced to them. I feel like Wakanda and T'Challa and Peter Parker, those all could have used at least like they could have given me 10 more minutes of backstory for each of them and made the movie 3 hours.
They didn't do that because they didn't want to bury the lead. Because again, yes, we just introduced to him there, but they came back. Films didn't used to do this. Films just give us the origin story first and then put that character in another movie. They were so confident, like, we're going to give them a little tease with fucking Spider-Man, and then we're going to come back and take him home, and take him home.
I take that back. I want to reuse the 20 minutes that I just used on Spider-Man and Black Panther, and I'm going to agree with So Juve. 20 minutes of a shower scene for Aunt May.
So Juve, yet again, you are a 3-time winner. So Juve, everybody, go check out the episode. This guy is a genius. Hell fucking yeah. Tonight, you know what I'm watching? My Cousin Vinny.
Hey, you could isn't Philip Seymour Hoffman in a Marvel film? Is he not? He's not? All right, well then scratch that.
Guten Tag.
Well, anyway, you can watch Philip Seymour Hoffman rail Aunt May. And,
he did a superhero job in 51st Dates, and now playing the role of Jesus. Remember that?
51st Dates. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait.
Yes, fucker, I'm right. I know what I'm doing. Fucking Adam Sandler, 51st Dates. He's there. Or was that Along Came Molly?
Yeah, Along Came Molly.
Fuck
Along
you.
Came Polly.
Well, you know, case by case, fucker.
What's up?
What's up?
I sharded.
That's the first time I heard the word sharded. And speaking of the shit, I will say this again. Like I say,
oh, what were you gonna add?
Go ahead.
If you could add anything.
I don't even have an answer for that. Actually.
I'm sorry, we're blowing you back. See, people think this is a farce between us. They see the show and they think we rehearse this, but you can tell people now. You were here before this. We were talking shit. This is who we are. Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, how about you don't take it and leave it?
That's what I was like saying. Just let it flow.
We're letting it flow. And a shameless plug again, guys. Check out Soul Hood 1 and 2 on Amazon right now. Number 3 coming to a theater near you soon.
Soul Hood Part 1 is on Amazon Prime. Can you watch Soul Hood 1 and 2 anywhere right now?
The first, I'm actually re-editing those from scratch.
Oh, the editor's job is never done. Classic story.
Yeah, I gotta.
Damn.
I'm pulling the Sylvester Stallone.
Okay. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give my really diehard fans, 30 seconds to get to this chat. This is for all my Star Wars fans. Call all your fans real quick. Get them in here. You got 30 seconds. So I'm going to make this comment, and I want to hear what you guys say. I found it similarly ironic, the similarities between one. Here we go. Check me out here. The similarities between Black Panther, T'Challa, and Anakin. One went to the dark side, one didn't. And I'm talking about in Civil War. You saw how angry he was. He comes from an establishment, let's say the Jedi, aka Anakin, before he became that. And so T'Challa comes from Wakanda. They grew up, they were meant to be the next leaders. Everybody proclaimed them, they were going to be that. One took this way, one took that way. One became Killmonger in another series, and he became T'Challa and the king of his people. So my point is, you see that. To me, this is why I love this film. Life is a slippery slope. The decisions we make, there's good and evil in all of us, but we have to decide the path that we're going to go on. And I feel like Anakin chose the dark side, and T'Challa, while he could have chose that the same thing, I'm not going to do it because the logical genius asked us not to, but let's just say that some people choose the dark side and some people don't. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? Like I said, I'm not too familiar with Star Wars, but being that you did mention that, I mean, it has enough for me to go off of. No, I agree with that, because had T'Challa went the other route, which we already know his character, he's not going to do that. You know, it'd have been a very interesting course of events. You know, especially if you're going to be King T'Challa. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So because now if you date back to now, of course, with the first Black Panther film, we saw what his dad did, and you saw what that Killmonger. You know what I'm saying? You see what that caused.
But I'm happy that, here's the thing. The only difference between, and we never talked about this, and if y'all think I'm wrong, please retort. The only difference between Killmonger and T'Challa is one saw his daddy get killed and one didn't. I guarantee you, because if I saw my daddy get killed or T'Challa sees his daddy get killed, he's Killmonger. What did Killmonger say? I found my daddy with panther claws in his chest.
Yep.
And there you go.
There you go.
Villain.
That was it.
Nah, don't say villain though.
Well, not villain.
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Yeah.
Iraq, Afghanistan.
Maybe
you know what I'm saying?
Because Killmonger's Killmonger in general, like you get his intentions, like at the end of the day. But
just like with Namor.
Yeah,
you get his intentions.
I'm
That's comic book. I'm not saying anything about the movie. He's always been protected. Let's check these comments out real quick. We look good on camera, by the way. Dave, this is the best lighting you've done in a while.
Mathis says Killmonger is more Anakin than T'Challa. Well, T'Challa and Killmonger are kind of one and the same too. That's why that was the whole thing.
Killmonger and Anakin are one and the same.
And T'Challa. They all share vengeance.
No. All of them went on the tour, the Vengeance of Tour College. 2 people enrolled, and T'Challa was not one of them. It was Anakin and it was Killmonger. T'Challa went back home.
Okay, so they were all dealt the same cards.
Yeah, the only 2 of them played them. There you go. There you go. Hello.
Yep.
Jane says evil T'Challa would make an interesting what if.
I would love to see that. I would love to see evil T'Challa.
Yeah.
I would love to see evil T'Challa.
Yeah, that would. Well,
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, we can't.
Well, we don't know. Spoiler alert. The seed ain't always good. I'm gonna just say that. The seed,
Yes, well.
Yeah, there you go. What happened that day? Oh, the brothers went down that day. They were armed, but they were hiring. The brothers went in with guns and came out with jobs.
Say what you said.
I love that shit, man. Hell, good job, man.
All right, scene stealers. Before we get into our favorite actors in the movie, here's a few casting facts. Marvel actually wanted to introduce Captain Britain with Civil War and approached Jason Statham to play the role. Statham laughed it off, saying he was too old, and the Russo brothers ultimately dropped the idea. Chad Coleman was considered for the role of T'Challa, and Asa Butterfield, he's from Ender's Game. Asa.
Mm-hmm.
Asa.
It sounds like you had a problem with the last name versus the first name.
Butterfield, they're 2 words that I've heard many times. Logan Lerman and Dylan O'Brien, they were all considered for the role of Peter Parker.
That's not your style, Dylan.
So we usually do some honorable mentions and then like our scene stealer who we thought like, and this is a hard one because there's so many A-listers and
right.
So I'll start with I have 2 honorable mentions. I'll just say them both at the same time. Robert Downey Jr. and Paul Rudd.
You haven't mentioned Paul Rudd one time. Neither of us. Talk about Paul Rudd for a second.
Well, what I really liked about Paul Rudd is he's fucking Paul Rudd. And no matter whether he's in Clueless or he's in a huge blockbuster Marvel film, he's still
or
Paul
Office.
Rudd.
No, 40-Year-Old Virgin. I mean, either way, he's always Paul Rudd, and he's a good Paul Rudd.
And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
even played off of his like awkwardness in this movie, which I read beforehand, which made me appreciate the scenes when he first actually. Here we go. Right here.
Captain America.
Mr. Lang.
It's an honor. I'm shaking your hand too long.
So he actually played on the awkwardness because he was so excited to meet the other Avengers because they never worked together before. So he was acting like they're celebrities and was so excited and like awkward about meeting them. And they played into that later on, which you brought up that line that Michael Keaton had said that in Ant-Man to him. But there was also
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's this line right here was also the way they were really playing with him on set because he was treating them like big celebrities. They were just like, who are you?
And Pym always said you never can trust a Stark.
Who are you?
Come on, man.
I love that, and let me tell you why. I consider Paul Rudd the chameleon of his community, and what I mean by that is he's never going to make the scene bad, and not only does he just blend in. No matter what environment you put him in, he's going to be ready for it, whether it's comedic, whether it's serious. Like I would never think of Paul Rudd as a superhero, but he stepped right into that fucking role as Ant-Man. It's just the perfect role with him because he can be so small, but yet be so big. He can be himself. Like he doesn't get enough credit for what he brings to this because the relationship with him and his daughter Cassie, I fucking love it. That's one of I don't care a fuck about Morgan Stark and Tony Stark. That was okay, father daughter, whatever. The best father-daughter relationship is not even Hope Pym and Hank Pym. It's Paul Rudd and his daughter, Ant-Man and his daughter in this MCU. They have the best father-daughter relationship.
I agree. I actually agree with that. I do.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Father-daughter relationships in MCU, which you have not qualified to talk about. Go back to the comments.
No, but Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yes, honorable mentions. Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Yeah. What I like what they did with the physics of his character. Like when he's super small, how everything is they change the speed, like the frame rate that they're shooting in, depending on whether he's really big, really small, or normal.
It's like when he's normal, it's like 24 frames per second. When I may be off on this, but when he's small, it's 60 frames per second. When he's huge, it's like 12 frames. But
you can tell,
it's crazy.
Like, sometimes when you're in his perspective small, everything is super fast. And then I love it when it cuts to the wide shots, like when not Scarlet Witch, what's her name? ScarJo Ho. When she flicks him, when it cuts to the wide shot, he goes from him going so fast from his perspective to the wide of her flicking him. She's like, don't.
Right. Dude, he always brings it, man. Like it's even what was that? Which one was that? In Endgame when he jumps inside Tony's chest. Tony's like, "You're small, but you're talking loud. They can hear you." And he was like, "What is that axe?" He was like, "I keep a can in my desk for emergencies." Like they keep it, and that's why I want people to stop taking shit so serious. These are still fucking comic book movies. Keyword comic. Yeah. This is not the days of our lives. Like there's supposed to be some funniness in this shit. Like Jesus.
Right. Robert Downey Jr. is my other honorable mention because he just elevates every scene he's in, and he handles comic relief, the drama. He sells the action, even as he's got to be in his 60s at this point.
No, Dave, late 50s.
Well, I mean, add
cracks.
Yeah, add the drugs to it.
I said cracks.
Yeah, but which also the de-aging, like that was pretty impressive for what was this, like 2 or 3 years ago?
Oh, I'm sorry, not my favorite scene, but one of the most the film school wise, one of the dopest scenes was, and I knew you'd see it. You remember when they did the barf scene? It's him as a young kid looking like fucking Ferris Bueller leaning against the wall, and his mom and dad. His mom comes up to kiss him, blocks the camera when she walks away. The older Tony Stark sitting back there in the black. That's one of the dopest scenes ever because you don't really see the cut. It's what you TikTokers would call putting something in the camera and pulling it back, little fucking dumbasses. And so that scene there is just so fucking beautiful, and I really appreciate that. What the comments saying?
Mathis says Anakin flipped because he was obsessed with being powerful enough to save his girl. That's true, Mathis.
And also, Mathis, that was the last time he flipped because his legs got fucked up in that lava. Go ahead, Dave.
Killmonger flipped to save his people from oppression. Yeah, that's true. He does bring up a good point. They're not. Yes,
but he's just repeating what his dad said. All over our country, we could use these weapons to fight like these people. Go ahead.
Tony 4235 madness.
I don't know what that could be. Any of us.
And James Florence Kasamba Azeo, move or you will be moved. That's his line. His favorite
Move
line.
or you will. Oh, I didn't even know her name. Look, I told you James stirred the coffee, brother. You better wake up.
Stirred the coffee. All right. Who'd your honorable mention be?
Honorable mention for me in this specific film itself. Honorable mention for me. It was definitely tough, but I gotta go with Chadwick Boseman. Because again, the same reason why we've been talking about the Russos. You're showing up, you're a black guy, you got to be black. You're not just a black guy in a film. They're asking you to be Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Willie Mays. You're fucking the person that's going to, Grant, he'd already played James Brown.
With no backstory. Like,
no, there's a backstory and a black story.
All right. Well, he had to come in this film, his introduction.
No. I'm saying the comics serve as the backstory. There's a backstory for everybody.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean,
well, his lore has not been introduced in this.
As an actor, had to step into the shoes.
Correct. There's no other actor that's ever played this role. There's been a million Supermans. There's been a million. I agree with you. So there's no back character, and there's a backstory, but there's no in the MCU. Black Panther doesn't exist. They've only mentioned Wakanda, and one of the times they mentioned it, Mark Ruffalo fucked up. He was like, "I don't know this language." And they were like, "Wakandan." Yeah, that's what he did. He was like, "I can't." He couldn't pronounce it. This educated guy couldn't pronounce shit.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
My fucking. Okay, so he's not allowed to do interviews anymore, right?
You know him nor Tom Holland. They're both kids, apparently, according to Marvel, and that's a fact, Jack. Yes, but with that being said, like again, I'm looking at it, and I'm not saying he brought acting to the MCU, but it was like, listen, man, I'm gonna get judged on this role regardless, so I'm gonna give it my all. And when you see him sit there rubbing his ring, and he was like, hey, death is not the end. Because people don't understand. Oh, that was the point I wanted to bring up. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen this film like 15 times. Last night was 16. This is the first time I ever fucking realized it. Remember we kept talking about, I'm not gonna say the other scene because my 5 Cent podcast is coming here. No spoiler alerts for the other film, but he says to him, the moment T'Chaka dies, T'Challa's father, the first person to acknowledge him as king was War Machine, a black man. When he said, he looks at him, he's like, "Your Highness." That's only a title reserved for kings. His dad has been dead less than fucking 5 hours.
I see where you were gonna go with that.
No, I'm done.
No, but
I'm done.
My 5 cents.
Oh yeah. I had seen the movie.
To Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah. To name themselves. Don't name it for me, bitch. Let me say so. But I'm like, oh shit.
We know, but just let us.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. Had we not been doing this episode tonight, and that's why people are like, oh, you watch movies all the same time, because I see something different every fucking time. Don Cheadle telling him, calling him your highness is the ultimate sign of respect, because he just became the fucking king. And he says on the bus, as warrior and king, you think I'm gonna let your boy live? So yeah, that was one of mine.
Here we go.
I just thought about that.
Hey, bro, listen, I'm here all day if you need.
He
said your highness. The first person to ever fucking say it.
I don't have that specific.
He first said, he says, "Cap, congratulations, you're a criminal." And he looks at him, your highness. I'm like, oh shit.
So I ask you, as both warrior and king, how long do you think you can keep your friends safe from me?
That's what I liked about Chadwick Boseman in this version of T'Challa, and the introduction to him was that he was a lot more. As much as for his character development, I liked that he was reserved in Black Panther, but it was fun to see him a little bit off the rails, a little like
Shuri-esque,
talking shit. Yeah, like that was low key, like just saying.
Don't say that.
I'm gonna get.
You can't say that word here.
I can't say low key.
No, because you haven't seen Loki.
Oh, I thought you were about.
You can say low key. You can't say Loki. He knows what I'm talking about. You don't know about the TVA.
And actually, I have seen Loki, just not the Loki you've seen. And I saw Loki long before you saw.
That
Loki.
shouldn't count. You talking about in the books?
I'm talking about Dogma, the original.
Oh, you
Loki.
did see that? Was that Matt Damon?
Yeah.
Which is funny because he didn't reprise himself in fucking Thor. Yeah. All right. Oh, we just blew his mind. No, I
actually forgot about that.
Low-key.
Low-key.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, who would your honorable mention be?
I'm between Chadwick and Tom. That's like my two.
Would one of them be your scene stealer?
Scene stealer.
Okay, so just your honorable mention is between Chadwick and Tom.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything you would add to what he already said about Chadwick?
I feel like you covered like the main points of it.
He
And,
usually
like,
does.
I do like, because like I said, like, I mean, like you were saying, like, I do like, I mean, and Max, both of y'all were saying, like, how Chadwick's character was more like on the vengeance side. So we got to see T'Challa, you know, if he was being on the vengeful side. But of course, he grew out of that at the end of the film. So that was interesting.
That's what I told
and that
you
was
last
very
night.
interesting.
I said T'Challa is the real Dark Knight because Batman doesn't own vengeance anymore, as far as I'm concerned. Like T'Challa, that whole family is like
you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Their whole family, even the outskirts of their family with Killmonger, are like haunted by vengeance. It's crazy.
And this is what we don't talk about enough. And I know he understands where I'm coming from, but it was never discussed. We love the first Black Panther so much that we didn't get to dissect what there was the heat crux of the argument. King T'Chaka's brother didn't steal for the sake of just stealing. He said, you sent me over here on an assignment. Now, when I was in Wakanda, I saw no wrong. I'm a king. I'm a prince. I'm this, I'm that. You sent me to the United States of America. Our community is overrun with drugs. I come from a place where we have the power to liberate our people. If y'all not going to do it, then why the fuck did you send me here? So my only crime is looking out for people that look like me, which is why we said Killmonger was never a villain. He only saw his dad tell him the truth, teach him about Wakanda in United States, and he found his daddy with Panther claws. So essentially, King T'Chaka might have been in the wrong a little bit because, motherfucker, you ain't living over here. You just came over. You sent me over here. You don't know what it's like to see your door get not be treated like a king. You've been treated like a king your whole fucking life.
T'Challa called him out on it.
Yeah.
They called his dad
Your dad's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
He said the shit. Yeah.
Yes, well.
Who was your other scene? So Tom Holland. What's
like just because you know he's talkative in general, and I love the banter between him, Falcon, and the Winter Soldier. That was funny.
Very funny.
Very funny.
You better not say anything to anybody.
Like you just pushing this metal. You just pushing Bucky's metal arm back. Like, oh, this is cool. Like
it's made of metal. Oh shit. Yeah.
That's it.
It was like he was playing
does
a
it so
video
casually
game.
too. Like he ain't strong.
Which I didn't appreciate because let's keep it real. Like, all right, it's still vibranium, fucker. Spider-Man ain't that fucking strong. Let's chill out a little bit. All right.
Well, that's my scene stealer is Tom Holland because I was just so impressed that he kind of did for me what Heath Ledger did with the Joker. Where
Easy boy.
I didn't expect somebody to make me think anybody other than Jack Nicholson could be the Joker until I saw Heath Ledger, and I was just kind of stubborn about Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man. I didn't even want to give these other guys a chance. And then the first scene, as soon as he walks in, he's just got so much charisma, and his awkwardness is so entertaining to watch. The way he fumbles just enough to make it fun on screen, and then he brings this innocence, like this chaos is happening at the airport scene, and you got this kid fumbling about.
But that's what happens when you hire a kid, Dave. Toby and Andrew weren't kids.
Yeah.
They were like in their fucking 20s when they took the job.
And that's the other thing about, like, he's 19 years old holding his own with all of these like big time actors. And to me, in that airport scene, you have all these people together, and Spider-Man, those are the moments that I remember the most. Like, he outshined, and that's like the definition of the scene stealer.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I pretend I know what it means. I still don't know what Underoos means. I assume it means come here, Spider-Man.
I didn't know what that meant. I was trying to figure that out. Yeah.
In the 80s and early 90s, when it was big in the cartoon was big, Underoos was a brand that specifically did
all the tights
with the
Underoos. Oh shit! I thought it was some Spanish shit. So this is just an American name.
Underoos.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope as fuck.
Like, Spider-Man was the most popular version of the Underoos.
That's why these called Spidey tighties. Like all your tighty whitey, Spidey tighty. Yeah, I get it. Okay. That's dope. That's dope.
They're calling each other out on that one. Okay. So yeah, Tom Holland is my scene stealer. I think he, of all the people he's acting up against,
for me,
shined.
For me, it was definitely Tony. It was definitely Tony Stark. It was Robert Downey Jr. And I'll tell you why. You mentioned it earlier before you came over here today. Other than Endgame, you saw like it was some. Again, this is where acting comes into play. Everybody can't fucking act. Some people can give you heroes, but everybody don't wear capes, and he doesn't wear a cape. When that young black woman tells him, like, well, I'm right where I need to be, you saw him take that to heart. Like, you saw the beats. Like, you're not used to Marvel having beats in real life. It took on a tone. This was like really the first film that made you say, oh shit, this is now a saga. This is a universe because it's now going from highs to lows to like hurt people dying and shit. And so you saw him like be quiet or and take a different route and be on the he wasn't on the rebel side. And so for him to do that, what do we always talk about the R word? It's not Robert, it's range. When you can show me you can be the smart ass, the smart man. What did they say in one of the first Iron Mans? What one of the first Avengers? Take away that suit. What do you have? A billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. She was like, "Yep," yeah, because that's who he is. And but you see that he fucking cares, and they pay it off later in the rest of the films. He truly cares about this kid because that kid is him.
Oh yeah, that's like the first thing he tested him was why
are you doing this?
Yeah, which goes back to Wakanda Forever. It's not the how, it's the why.
Go ahead, Los. You're finna say something about that.
No, you nailed it. Because like, no, that was like one of his reasons he took onto the side of being controlled.
He said I couldn't play football before, so why should I now? Since I have these powers, it's just showing you again the tagline. They didn't say it. Help me out here. With great power comes great responsibility.
So Robert Downey Jr. is your scene. So who do you think was the best performance in this?
Yeah, definitely Robert Downey Jr. Hands down.
You too?
Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. I just think the fact that Tom Holland could even appear impressive in a scene with Robert Downey Jr. is a testament because Robert Downey Jr. has decades of experience and practice. Tom Holland is a child, and watching them go back and forth. I mean, Tom Holland.
He's also dating one of the hottest females in the world, so I think his confidence is pretty good.
Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Who's he dating?
Zendaya.
Thank you.
Who?
Zendaya.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they met on Spider-Man, right?
Oh, that's what they say. That's a lot of confidence, kid. Go get him, Tom.
Shooting that hot white Spidey web. All right, fuck's given.
Comments real quick. We got some comments going on.
Nope.
Yeah, we do.
James is scene stealer. Sebastian Stan. We see
Fuck
three
yeah.
different versions of Bucky across 3 movies, and this one is the most compelling.
James, that's the last time we see the Winter Soldier. After that, he's some fucking puff piece for fucking Disney.
Did you hear what Sebastian Stan did to Robert Downey Jr. the night before their fight scene?
He had put a knife to him. What did he do?
He said he recorded himself doing 100 sit-ups, and then like at the end, he said, "I'm looking forward to our scene tomorrow, Robert." He sent him a video of him doing
that. Sounds like some shit I do. I like that.
Yeah, getting in his head. I thought that was pretty cool.
You know what he should have sent him back? His routing number and just called it. I'm preparing for tomorrow too.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that I don't know any. I've always thought Bucky was it just sounds like a ridiculous name.
Well, again, so did Chris Evans. That's why he calls him Buck.
That was a very compelling. I mean, it took me a while to wrap my head around what was going on with him because one, it's like, how the fuck is he
alive?
Yeah,
that's because you haven't seen all the films, sir.
I know.
Okay.
I guess Winter Soldier would probably
first Captain America.
If you're going from Winter Soldier to Civil War, yeah, it's.
Yeah, he haven't seen the first fucking Captain America.
All right, am I wrong though? The first Captain America is kind of like a chore, right?
No, it has Tommy Lee Jones in it. You fucking kidding me? That's never a chore.
No, I don't think it's a no.
That's not a chore. No, it's setting it up because remember, you have to remember. This is what we got out. They didn't even plan on doing that one. Once they saw how successful the first Iron Man was, aka Robert Downey Jr., they're like, "This is a universe." And let me tell you how great he was at it. They tried to do the same thing with Tom Cruise with the Monster Universe. Didn't fucking happen.
Nope.
There you go.
If you could change one thing about it, what would you change?
That they kept the fucking Black Panther mountain in the rest of the movies.
Oh, so you want them to have?
They showed it to me. Where the fuck is it?
It
was a beautiful fucking mountain. Did they think we're gonna get too much Black pride or we're gonna fucking rally or some shit because we saw the fucking mountain made out of vibranium? That was some dope. That's some dope shit, man.
Yeah. Why do you think they didn't continue with that?
Because the guy who made it was in contract disputes and they fucking Terrence Howard his ass. We'll just replace you.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think. Hey, shout out to Terrence Howard. That was the biggest mistake Multiverse of Madness made. You should have gave me the different variant version of Terrence Howard as War Machine. I would have lost my shit if I would have saw Terrence Howard. Hey, man, I would have lost my shit.
I wish they would have did that too. That would have.
They didn't fucking call me.
Go ahead. He's busy.
He's
man. Doing the
best man playing the guitar upside down and shit. I guess whatever.
He's going around doing the lectures.
About Flat Earth, him and Kyrie. Keep it going.
Yeah, yeah. What would you change about it?
What would I change about it? I don't have an answer as of right now because I never thought about that until now.
Go with the mountain, man. Go with the mountain.
I gotta dig on that one, man.
I don't know. I can't speak on it enough to tell you what I would change about it.
You got no problem with the end of the runtime, Dave?
No, I went into another Marvel movie after it was over.
Case by case. I don't think you did that, but
it was fucking Captain Marvel. It doesn't get any more Marvel than that.
It actually does. A lot more Marvel than that.
It's Captain Marvel. What's wrong with Captain Marvel?
Where do I start? What's right with it?
You got a problem with Brie Larson?
I have a problem with Phaser setting a 9. I don't like superheroes where all they do is just point and this shit just phases. That's weak. That's why I hated the fucking. No, that's the Eternals, fucker.
That's WandaVision.
No, it's not. Don't you ever do her like that. No, she's a mute. She's a Nexus being. And I'm not going to go into the night.
The scenes of them before they add the effects in.
Yeah, I did.
Grown ass women has children at home and out there playing.
Well, guess what? If I get the check she gets, you'll see a grown ass black man doing this shit too. I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do for that. Fuck that.
Oh, let's see. We got My 5 cents. They said they did a good job with that origin story for Captain America.
Thank you. He wouldn't know.
Yeah, I tried to watch that.
No, you didn't. You tried to watch Brie Larson last night in Blockbuster.
That one years ago, and I fell asleep
because you didn't. You sick bastard.
And ultimately, that is literally Captain America back in his day before he got frozen in there.
Right. Did I not mention Tommy Lee Jones? Jesus Christ.
Said, Terrence Howard over Don Cheadle. Now you're talking.
Oh no, he's right. What? Terrence Howard was War Machine. I'm sorry, fuck that. I like Don Cheadle, Hotel Rwanda, Rosewood. That's my guy.
Okay, so as War Machine, Terrence Howard over Don Cheadle.
No, fuck that. Fan favorite. It should have been fucking Spawn. The guy that plays Michael Jai White should have been fucking War Machine. But whatever. But yeah.
All right, let's get into fucks given.
Fucks given for this film.
5. We do 1 through 5.
Let Los go.
And a brief reason why.
Well, is Los Spanish?
No.
Because I'm gonna ask you to give us your number in Spanish. Thank you.
I'm not.
It's okay. Go for it.
I'll go first.
Oh no, let me tell them what it is. So if you haven't seen the show, what we do is we do
it.
No, I'm gonna let him go, but we do I think what we call flying fucks. And so it's a 1 through 5. How many flying fucks do we give the film? 5 being the best, 0 being the worst, or negative being the worst. And you can do like 1.5, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So what would you give this film 0 through 5 flying fucks?
Definitely 5. 5 for me.
Stone cold bitches. Tell us why.
Like I said, at the end of the day, it was like just getting all the characters together. The story was put well together. The introduction of Spider-Man and Black Panther was the biggest parts for me, honestly. But to me, it was never a dull moment in the film. I mean, even
I agree.
From Ant-Man being the awkward meeting, like
not to mention that's the first time it wasn't even a fucking Ant-Man's movie. Ballsy as fuck to show a superpower we've never seen to make him the big gigantor. You don't remember Tony Stark saying, "Does anybody else on our team have an amazing superpowers that they're not using right now?" You don't remember that shit at the airport? That's fucking dope.
That was dope. Yeah.
Could you imagine if Robert Downey Jr. wasn't originally going to be in this movie that much? Like they had just given
you know who vouched for him? Terrence Howard, and that's a true story.
Well, like he said, he was like, "No, if I'm going to be in this, I'm going to be in it a lot, and you're going to pay me a lot."
That's not what happened.
Yeah.
No, that's not what happened. And
what happened.
What happened was they were trying to figure out. Terrence Howard had already been hired. Howard had already been hired. He had his contract. They were looking to see who be the Iron Man. They had named like 5 or 10 people.
I'm not talking about Robert Downey Jr. getting hired for Iron Man. I'm talking about Robert Downey Jr.'s part in Civil War.
That's what you're talking about then. So what happened was Terrence Howard got him to be Iron Man. And so they're 2 and 2. The same reason he got that money is the same reason Terrence Howard's not in any of these other movies. Terrence Howard's made, I think, about $8 million for the first Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. made $500,000. Those are facts, Jack.
Okay.
Then the next movie, Robert Downey Jr. is making $10 million. There's no Terrence Howard. You tell me what the fuck happened. It's more than one way to kill a black man in the movie.
I don't think you're hearing me, though.
I am hearing you. So if he made $10 million in Iron Man, it would stand to move that in this film, he needs a lot more money if he's going to be in it.
Right. If he's going to be in it.
Yes.
They originally were going to write a cameo spot for him because they didn't want to pay him that huge fee. They wanted to pay him the cameo fee, the 1-day fee. That's what they wanted.
It was probably like what, $5 million or some shit?
I don't fucking know. A lot less. But he said, no, if I'm going to be
in it,
put me in it and pay me my fee. And that's so like I just like to imagine. I couldn't imagine what this movie would have.
It
been.
wouldn't have been the
How
same
would it?
because Captain America doesn't have that same rivalry with anyone else.
That's where I was going with
Yeah.
it. Where like if that was their original intention to just have Robert Downey Jr. be a bit cameo part in it, where like
that became Spider-Man: Homecoming. Remember his big cameo
where
role
were
in
they-
that?
where-
That became
where do you
that.
think they were going to go with Civil War originally? Then without Robert Downey Jr. as the main primary character, who was
If anything, it would have been Captain America versus the government and Thaddeus Ross, because the government, the Sokovia Accords, were going to happen regardless. So it would have been the same thing, but the reason they didn't do that because they did that in fucking what was that, Winter Soldier? It was Captain America versus government. That's when we found out Hydra was growing inside Shield, so they couldn't redo that storyline. So it's like, okay, either give Robert Downey Jr. $5 million for 2 weeks of work or $15 million for 6 months of work. Let's give him 15. And we have the movie we had. I wouldn't want to see it without him. Like he just said, it's like fucking Twilight. Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. What was it? Whatever that Twilight shit was. Whatever.
James said Civil War gets 5 out of 5, top 5 MCU films for me, and there isn't much I would change about it. It balanced the humor, the action, the drama without feeling jarring, and all the characters felt necessary.
100% agree.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would give it a 4.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
Just because I gave Wakanda Forever a 5, and I feel like this Wakanda Forever was more emotionally grounded. The stakes were higher, and the resolution was more satisfying. I wasn't happy. I think that's one thing I would change about this is I would change the. I know that they were in like compartmentalized within a larger story that was being told, so you can't really expect some grand resolution, but. The end just kind of felt anticlimactic for a movie called Civil War, but that's why it would lose 1 point for me. I wish that at the ending would have been more fantastic and left like just created a little bit more stakes. But I give it a 4 because, like I said, what they had to work with, the fact that they were trying to create tension between people that we knew don't really want to hurt each other and still made compelling action sequences. The humor was all there. The Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland and what's the other funny guy? Robert Downey Jr.
Paul
Tom
Rudd.
Holland, Paul Rudd. Yeah,
He's the other funny guy.
Like those three were hilarious together. You get to look at ScarJo Ho. It was it was a roll around the middle. James said it really good. Like they
brought it together.
Yeah.
A few quick points I want to, and this is why, again, guys, even the most beautiful films ever, go back and rewatch them because, again, different settings, you learn different things. And I just want to hit a few quick points real quick. And these are the notes I was supposed to send David, but someone fell asleep last night, and not David, I mean me. At 41 minutes and 40 seconds into the film, we get foreshadowing for the passing of the torch. You see, and you remember this scene where they go to the bar, and it's Captain America comes in there. He's sitting next to Falcon, and Falcon drops a line like, well, I'm just saying, man, usually people that wind up shooting at you wind up shooting at me. If you notice, they both have on shades and caps. It's foreshadowing that Anthony Mackie is going to be the new Captain America, the Cap. They both have on caps. So under is
that real? Like,
no, that's real. That's in the Disney show, Falcon Winter Soldier. The next Captain America movie, he's Captain America, Anthony Mackie.
I pride myself on being a Mackie fan before he was even on the radar at all.
Oh yeah, everything except 8 Mile, Adjustment Bureau, all this other shit. I just hate him at 8 Mile.
I'll never forget. I went like fucking 2004. I went down to Miami Film Festival and got invited into a Spike Lee screening of Sucker Free City, which is a movie of a pilot episode that he made for Showtime that never got picked up. So he released it to the film festivals as an indie film, and Anthony Mackie was one of the leads in that. And then he went on to do She Hate Me with Spike Lee after that. I was like, who? I said, this motherfucker is going.
Oh, no, he's that dude. It's just the worst performance I've ever seen is him in 8 Mile. It wasn't even bad. It was just like, that's not you, dude. All right, with that being also said, again, I brought up the Highness thing. Sets up Wakanda Vision. One of Tony Stark's best line ever and out of all 22 MCU films. And he says it, Anthony Mackie, which I actually like but didn't like. As a comedic, I'm going Dave Chappelle on you. As a comic, I loved it. As a black man, I hated it. He says something to Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie's like, hey man, that's cold. And then Tony Stark responds, warmer than a jail cell. Funny, but not. Yeah, kind of hit me home right there. Yeah. Also, what I loved is, and you don't know about Edith, he knows about Edith, but we get our first take in this film, also another first of the Edith glasses. It's an acronym. Tony Stark is wearing the glasses with his AI in it, and they're called Edith glasses. And it's an acronym for, it stands for something I would come up with. Even dead, I'm the hero. So he gave those glasses like he gave him the fucking Spider-Man after he died, and Spider-Man didn't know what they meant. And he's like, Edith, why am I calling you Edith? Tony gave this to you. Even dead, I'm the hero. Like, God damn, bitch, you still out there. I love that part. And also, foreshadowing also in this film for the first time. We all laughed, and the reason why we pretty much all love Spider-Man No Way Home, one of the best scenes ever in the MCU is when both Peters ask Tobey Maguire, like, oh shit, is that coming out of you? Where else does it come out of?
Right.
Bam. What's the motherfucker that does all the food shit? Bam. Emerald. Fucking Anthony Mackie says that shit in this fucking film, and I heard it last night when he was like, hey man, is that stuff coming out of you? That was the first fucking time it was said. Yet again, America needed a black man. Hello. I see you.
That's a solid point, though.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, that was the first time we ever fucking heard it, man.
He did say that.
Thank you.
Before you say
That's the fact, Jack.
Before you say what your 1 through 5 is, My 5 Cents podcast, he says, I would change the beginning of this Wanda falling in love with Vision. Felt very Joaquin Phoenix in her.
What's wrong with that? I love Joaquin Phoenix. And to your point, Dave, you want to help me out here? Didn't you love WandaVision? That you told me last night that set up WandaVision.
Oh, because if you look at every war in the history of mankind,
it's always love. Movie Troy?
Yeah.
Hella?
Yeah. So like a woman scorned.
Oh, you sound like R. Kelly now. When a woman's fed up, no. TP2.com, motherfucker.
That's the scariest shit ever. Like a Vision, that's a very compelling story because it's like, please keep her happy.
You better.
Yeah.
She created a whole town.
Do whatever she wants. Anticipate her needs.
And I will.
Yeah.
Come on now, cut it out.
They did create a whole town though.
Yeah.
Just in grief.
Yes.
That's wild.
I love her.
So what do you give it 1 through 5?
1 through 5, Civil War, I give a 4. And I'm gonna tell you why I give it a 4. I give it a 4 because of the fact that I think that film is impossible to be a 5. And what I mean by that is certain times we have so many storylines, there's impossible to flesh out everything. So the 4 is the highest score I felt that it can get, and they fucking nailed it. And again, had the Russo brothers been able to make a standalone film called Civil War, I think would have got a 5. And again, I'm not mad at the 4.
Angela liked it.
She stayed up.
She waited for Paul Rudd.
And then that was it. You did say that was going to be it. Yeah.
She went to sleep, but she did tell me today. She's like, you know how she hates him.
I know she hates him. Yeah,
probably even more.
Yeah,
because I've come around a little bit since Doctor Strange. But she's like, I might actually, be able to watch these because it was funny and there is not as cheesy as she.
And that was my point to you. And to him earlier, the first 3 or 4 films in the MCU were cheesy. Not the first Iron Man, but you can see where they started to do the whole Disney World thing and start marketing. But then it was something about the Russo brothers coming in and saying, "And no, let's ground this thing. It's okay to go up in the sky, but Icarus also flies low. You got to be able to balance it. It shouldn't be too much high and too much low. We need a fucking balance." What Los? What would you give it?
About
the he already did. He gave it a 5.
Yeah,
all 5. So we got a 5. And Dave, what'd you give it?
4. I was right there with you.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the Fucksgiving. That's the review. Let's get into coming attractions real quick, and then we'll throw it over to you for the final word. This Thursday, TTFT Talks with Mark Beltzman. You might remember him from Adam Sandler's Big Dad. No, not Big Daddy. Happy. No,
Gilmore.
not Happy.
Not even Happy Gilmore.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. There you go.
Yeah, they were all so.
Oh, hold on. He's acting like a kid. Oh, that's all his movies. Great.
He was the guy drunk by the pool hanging out with Norm Macdonald.
You can drink it.
Some cool Norm Macdonald stories. And then next Tuesday, we're doing a Thanksgiving special. Talking about the film Dutch with Ed O'Neill and Ethan Embry, written by John Hughes.
Hey, man, you better love Al Bundy. Poke high, bitches.
And then next Thursday on the 24th, Emma Everywhere. She's doing Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything.
For all you kids born in the 90s, you don't know what kind of fucking ride you're about to go on. Emma, go get them, kid.
November 29th, live from Studio 83. Annie will be back here. We will be counting down our top 10 holiday films.
Hey, Annie, are you okay?
Speaking of coming attractions, Los, what do you have coming out that you want to let the audience know about, or anything that you're working on?
So, like I said, like we said earlier, I currently got Soul Hood Saga Part 1 on Amazon Prime, which is a follow to my short film Luke and Lee, which is also on Amazon Prime. So right now I'm working on Soul Hood Saga Part 2, which is premiered in May of 2023. Kind of like just to end the series on an epic note. Other than that, quite a few other projects I'm working on. I got kind of web series that I'm working on with other people.
Nice.
Another horror film. I just got done doing a horror film. We premiered it back on, I want to say October 30th, I want to say. Grime Street, we did that. So it's a lot of projects I've been working on. So it's just a few of them that I just wanted to show out.
Do you have something in mind for like now that Soulhood is like you're at the finale of that saga? I'm sure like the ideas are always going through your head. Do you have an idea of what you're going to work on next as far as like the next Soulhood?
Not as of yet.
Do you are all the actors bothering you about like I'm sure they all have ideas like what characters they could be in something else or something like that. Like, man, put me as this.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we're at the point where the story is just about wrapped at this point. So, I mean, once I finish part 2, I think I'm gonna just end it there because I don't want to get to the point where what's that term? Sequel itis or something like that.
It's just it jumps the shark, man. It's just too much. You don't want it.
Soulhood fatigue.
That's why I call it Sopranos effect. That's why Sopranos ended in all black. Most people hated it. I loved it because no matter how they ended it, everybody would have hated it anyway. Nobody would have been satisfied. So you know what? Leave it to interpretation.
And the SHU.
Yes, but I do want to ask them.
Universe.
I do want to ask them one thing before you go. For all our writers, independent filmmakers, and people out there, the people who are trying to get into this craft or maybe who be feeling down and out, do you have any advice or any words of encouragement you can give them or people getting into this industry? What would you tell them? And you can speak into the camera.
So, okay, camera right in front. Okay,
yes.
Cool. Me personally, I just always write. Writing has always been a way for me to just clear my head. There's one way to do it. I'm going back and forth from Orlando to traveling and always else. But no, I just keep writing a lot. And I made this video also, just real quick. I made this video to remind me of the accomplishments I made in the last 16 years of my career. So I watch that sometimes. So sometimes just kind of go back to what you've already made, what you've already accomplished. Look at what how much you've grown since day one. All of those are good reminders of, just to keep going. Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, and guys, he's not a local filmmaker. He's a filmmaker that was actually locally able to get to our fucking studio tonight.
Boom.
So with that being said, guys, listen, we're going to make sure we put his information in the clips for you guys to go find him. Make sure you find us. And again, listen, tell your friends about this, man. Did you not have a good time, man?
Man, I enjoyed the show, man. It's dope.
This is what we're here for, man. And guess what? This is the great part about it. We got fucking 3.5 fucking seasons before this of fucking like 50 fucking films we fucking covered. And it's been a lot of fucking hours. And if you're mad at me for saying fucking, tell me you're mad once you watch every fucking second we put into this show that we really love. Dave?
Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you later on.
Hey, listen, smoke crack and do that. Peace out, everybody.
Love you.
Hate you. We got Blue Moon and Stella Artois. What you want?
All right. Here you go, buddy. Tradition is tradition.
Yo no comprende mucho gusto. Yo no comprende mucho gusto.